Hey, hey, everybody, look up the sky, look up at the sky, look right up there. Where? Can you see it? Can you see it? I can't. The transit of Venus is happening right now, and I won't be able to see it because I lost my bloody glasses, those special sunglasses that I had for the eclipse a few weeks back. But oh well, okay, it's happening. I watched it. I saw my friend Tom posted a photo of the event from the top of the big volcano in Hawaii. So we know what's actually happening, and that photo made me think. I mean, it was a great photo. It was a great, it was just what you'd expect. The big sun right there and the little dot crossing in front of it. And it made me think, wow, it really is happening. And the ramifications, the first thought that went through my mind was, what if it didn't happen? What if today, all the cameras of the world, the scientists everywhere, amateur skeptics and the like, sure, there's skeptics of science. Sure, there's skeptics that don't think these things happen. There's still people that think that the world is the center, the earth is the center of everything. But, what if they were all ready to prime for it to happen, and the moment came and no little dot appeared. Nothing was crossing the face of the sun there. Well, the first thing that would happen is the scientists would race to check that something didn't actually block their view. That there was some like the clouds were too big, too deep or something like that. That it didn't actually happen, but they just didn't see it for some reason. If that wasn't the case. They confirmed all, cameras in all the different locations in different parts of the world confirmed that wasn't the case. Clear sky, dark sky, everything. The next thing they would check is that their calculations weren't in error in terms of when the actual transit should occur. The transit, of course, being I'm sorry, I didn't preface that today's the big day when Venus crosses in front of the sun, the last time it's going to happen in our lifetime. They would check to see, were their calculations wrong, that maybe today wasn't the day, maybe it was tomorrow, or yesterday, and we missed it. Now, if they determined that wasn't the case, so first, it wasn't just a technical error. Second, it wasn't a mistake in the calculations. What would they be left with? Well, the one thing they wouldn't be left with is heresy. Okay, now let's say, for example, that those first two were okay. That would mean that there was something wrong with the basic mechanism or our understanding of how the mechanism of the planets in regard to the sun work. Basically the three laws of Kepler's planetary motion and even Newton's basic ideas of gravity. Something was amiss, and that's where I came up with suddenly in my mind this morning as I was drinking my coffee and munching my toast and thinking about Venus transiting in front of the sun. The word came to mind: heresy. That's the one word that would not come about. The reason being that no scientist would claim heresy, because heresy for the most part doesn't, wow, watch out, slow down, lady. Heresy for the most part doesn't exist in science. Because there is no, the very premise of science is this quest for truth, not for the preservation of belief. And if indeed it turned out that there was something wrong, the Venus didn't appear as it could, and it wasn't an optical illusion, and it wasn't a miscalculation by a day or so, we would have to re-examine our very premise of how the universe works. Ooh, is it going to be windy this way? I think I'm okay. We would actually have to re-look at some of the fundamental ways that we evaluate the world around us. Basically, rocking the very edifice upon which so much of our modern world relies. Now, this type of thing happens all the time. One of the things that's great about the procedure of science is that it allows for hypotheses that are subject to test, and we can test them over and over again. The strongest theories, such as evolution and Einstein's theories, have been tested repeatedly over and over again, and thus verified. They rest upon a very strong, powerful, and substantial structure. So what would happen then is that basically science would not lament. It would not pull its hair. At least some would. There are some scientists who have more allegiance to their ideas than they should. Scientists should not have allegiance to their ideas. They should have allegiance to the process of discovering what is really going on. But there would not be the pulling of hair. There would not be the crucifixion of those who are claiming that Venus that there's something wrong with the basic ideas of how planets operate. Instead, we would be rallying ourselves around the fact that we made a big mistake and trying to rediscover what we went wrong. Heresy doesn't really exist in science. That's a big distinguishing element. And when we discover things, when we discover science, when scientists discover that we are in error, we strive to root out the cause of the error, correct the mistake, and carry on accordingly. I think that's a big distinguishing point between the methodology of the scientific method of inquiry and basically all other methods of inquiry. I mean, you never hear about any other form of investigation. Basically, when they discover that they're in gross error. I mean, we got it going on right now, the 2012 doomsday thing. I mean, it's happening this year. What's going to happen when come 2013? Are they going to? Are those that are claiming these mystical ways? Are they going to? Publicly come out and say, "Hey, we were just dead out wrong, and we've got to rethink things"? Probably not. Probably they'll go silent. Probably they'll go on, with the other principles that they hold, and simply be quiet about that, and all go under the rug. Likewise, there's so many theories that don't rely on hypothesis, test, and verification, and peer review. It's just the way it works. So that's why I rely on scientists. That's why I strive to be a scientist. You don't have to be a white-robed professor or even a credentialed person to call yourself a scientist. A scientist merely needs to be someone who understands this incredible, wonderful methodology of examining the world, and then relies upon it in their life, not just for understanding the mechanics of the world, but also for everyday investigation. Scientists, there's all kinds of scientists. There's physical scientists, there's natural scientists, there's economic scientists, people who study how economies work and figure it out, basically the same thing, coming up with a hypothesis, testing it out, watching how the real markets work, and coming up with refined conclusions. There are legal scientists. Detectives are scientists. The scientists come up with an idea about what might have happened in a crime and look for evidence to show it might be the case. And if the evidence doesn't support it, hopefully they move on to something else that does. And they're subject to mistake just like anybody else. So I will endeavor to be a scientist. And this transit of Venus is just showing me, illustrating to me, not only the wonders of what we have discovered. I mean, look they figured it out. They figured out that this actually would happen. They predicted it, and they'll know that this is the last time it'll happen in our lives. It'll be another 100+ years before it happens again, and they'll be spot on. You can bet 100+ years from now. I'm pretty dead certain when the people that come after us will be standing up there, and the very hour that they predicted will come by, there will be the transit of Venus again. It is a very, very strong and powerful mechanism that we have for understanding the world around us, and I rely on it and I trust it to the point that I am always a skeptic. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Sorry for this long ramble and my racing about. I've got to get to work. My tongue is moving faster than my legs should. Now it's time for the opposite. I'll be quiet here and fast here. Get to work. See you later. Bye-bye. Don't forget to get out and look for the transit of Venus. It's probably later after I upload this. But oh well, watch it on TV. Bye-bye.